She's a seeker, a mentor, an artist, a provocateur, and someone who's created spaces where countless others can explore themselves. With joy at her heart and curiosity at her center, she spent her life questioning, unlearning, reinventing, and imagining what else is possible. At 16, she joined the Communist Party. She went on to be part of Kafla caravans, created Navital, worked across street and professional theatre, co-scripted documentaries with her husband Channi, reimagined education and explored more collective ways of being at Seva. And through it all, she continued to meet the world with possibility, wonder, and joy. Please welcome the Queen of Curiosity, the ultimate seeker, the creator of this beautiful space, Harleen Kohli.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. Welcome to Theatre of Joy. Today, the interviewer becomes the interviewee, and we have the queen of the podcast, Harleen Kohli. You've all known her, loved her, and today we are going to get to know her a little more. Welcome, Harleen.
Thank you, Ruchika. Thank you for doing this.
So we're 20 years apart, and she was my first boss. And I know so much about her, but still it feels like it's not enough. So we're going to begin from the starting. So I know you had like this amazing childhood here in Chandigarh. So tell us something about your childhood, early teens, you riding on the bicycle, and your association and relationship with Chandigarh.
Childhood. I was a lonely child because we used to live in these big four canal houses, and there weren't many neighbors. My father was a big shot in the government. I mean, he's a politician, and I remember I had a red and white bicycle, small one. And maybe Chandigarh was safe at that time, or my parents were, bindas. I used to ride that bike everywhere. Like from sector 2, I would go to the lake, riding it by myself and discover so many things. And at home, I'd just play in the garden. I remember one memory. There was all these, that flower with the big little flowerets. What is it called? The It's with an L anyway. So there was a whole hedge full of all colors of those flowers. They're beautiful. And I remember just taking out the little flowerets and making I don't know what on the grass. And I was lucky enough that my parents never disturbed me what I did. I mean, they didn't even probably know where I was and what
In
I
the
was
city?
doing. Yeah, we didn't have helicopter parents at that time. And I must have spent hours and hours making that, doing that. And also, I was lucky that there weren't lots of fond relatives or friends with cameras who wanted to click. It was just enough for me to make that, and enough that for me that it wasn't recorded.
Yeah.
I mean, there was no idea. This was in the 60s, I think late 60s. So I remember that. That was a wonderful day in my life.
And so where did you make this beautiful thing? It was somewhere in the city?
No. It was in my father's four canal house in the garden, where it was really, when you were in the bottom of the garden, nobody knew where you were. I mean, that was fun. Yeah.
And I also know that very early in school you were in CPI and you did dharnas in college.
Yeah, I was 14 when I joined the Communist Party of India.
Wow.
And that time my father was minister in the Congress government in Chandigarh.
And how was that like?
I don't know, actually, I feel lucky that I came in touch with this family of communists who actually lived very near our house. They were so Madan Lal Didi and Sheila Didi, through their daughter, who was a good friend, and I'd be in their house all the time. All the time, I'd be there and listening to things and reading books. And Madan would talk to me, and Sheila would talk to me, and I I was part of a young group of people who called themselves the Young Marxists. So we were the Young Marxist Club, and this is all in the mid 70s, early 70s, I think. Late 60s, early 70s. And then my friend Anupam Gupta, who's a Supreme Court lawyer now, we both decided to join the Communist Party.
Wow.
And we did. And yeah, that was fun. I was a co-founder of the Students Association in the university here. And that was good fun. And we used to go around. We were part of the IPTA Plays, Indian People's Theatre Association. So we did a few plays in IPTA, directed and whatever, dug up the scripts, and it was a fun time.
No, that must have been really fun.
Yeah, yeah.
And from Dharnas to Shamsheer and from the CPI, like your relationship with bringing change in the world or looking at the possibilities that the world can be, reimagining change and the world.
Yeah, I remember as a kid, I wanted to change the world.
And you wanted to be Nanak.
I wanted to be Nanak, I know. That sounds silly and cheesy.
But your version of what you understand as Nanak.
Yeah, because I just said one time, I said to him in a family group, I said, I want to be Nanak. And everybody laughed at me. And they said, don't be silly. I said, you can't be what? So anyway, I never said it again. But I was fascinated by Nanak. Though I never was fascinated with Gurdwaras or the Sikh religion or anything like that. But Baba Nanak was cute.
So also tell us more about you looking at the world and reimagining change in the world, or looking at it with your lens of possibilities and change making that I think you started very early, like with CPI, with all the dharnas and joining Shamsheer and everything till now that you've been doing.
I don't know. I think I'm just a person with a very alive sense of wonder. And I think I once complained about it also, that I can see the bad things of the world. Like I'm aware of the, discrepancies, the dissonance, things that are not right. So I was always aware of that. I remember, arguing with my nanny and just putting the poor lady, because she was 2 generations away. But through You Don't Treat Your Servants Well, and I just saw everything that was happening, and I wanted it to be different. And now when I think back, that must have been it. But it was very, very sort of organic. That's a word which has come into fashion now. But it was very organic and very, okay, this is what needs to be done. I used to read a lot, all the time. In fact, I was, when all the cousins and parents and everyone was going out for having fun, they'd say, there's no place in the car, so why don't we give her a few books and she'll be happy? And I was. I remember in Simla, they used to leave me at the bookstore. And as a little kid, I used to keep sitting at the bookstore and reading.
Wow.
And everybody thought, yeah, she's busy. But yeah, and so that curiosity, that sense of wonder, can things be different? This is not good, but can it be better? I think it stayed with me till now. Yes.
And I think you are one of the most generous and kindest people that I know. And you are always looking at making the world a happier place, a better place. Whoever you come in touch with, whether it's an elevator, whether it is dealing with somebody, whether it is talking to somebody and changing their perspective to look at the world differently.
Yeah, I know, but this has gotten me into trouble many times because I just like to lecture, and now I'm hopefully over the habit. But I thought, I could talk to people and tell them, ki, why? I mean, I thought they should be able to see what I'm seeing, and then I would lecture at length. And I'm sure, and I know that I used to bore a lot of people, my kids also, for things, and all my friends and staff, and like I'm the lecture person. But then I realized very late in life that that doesn't work. That if people have to receive, and I have to see where they are, and not make them wrong by thinking that they should know this, but they should be interested in this. They should also want to know. And that got me into trouble.
No, I'm sure those lectures have helped a lot of people, and maybe that's how you look at it. Lecturing is one form, but there are other ways. Just the way you be in the world is one of the ways of, it's a possibility for people to choose from. And so, also, uh, from this looking at the world differently, seeing the world differently, and wanting to bring about change. So, you've done a lot of activist theatre, you did law, and then feminism, and from there, how did sort of all of this come to education? Like you started Navital and then Seva
I
happened.
think mm, I mean, I don't feel like sitting pretty on the fact that I have done something to change the world. It was just a lot of fun for me. It was a lot of fun. I remember when I got from the women's movement with Shamshir, we were very, very radical group of young people who were doing street theatre and all kinds of stuff in the city. Um, I learned my feminism from there, but I think I'm a veteran feminist. I was born a feminist. So, uh, and from there I realized that no, it's not only the men that or the patriarchy that is a problem. Of course, the patriarchal system is, but you can't polarize and make people, because that's what we were doing as radical feminists, just hating men and hating patriarchy and hating older people who perform patriarchy and all that. And then I somehow uh, said that okay, this is there and that everybody will deal with their problems, but I don't know whether it was that articulate, but I went on to children. And I started working with kids and with organizations that work with kids. And we had a huge organization called Balpreet Milni Kafla. And we'd go through Punjab. We did that 7 times. From village to village, town to town, from bigger towns to, and we carried with us books. And this was in the time when schools had ground to a halt and uh, children had no books in their homes and people were confused. And this, Punjab was, what is the Punjab, going through the Punjab problem. And we used to take books, the National Book Trust, NPT, and the CBT, which was there at the time, and lots of publishers and all that would come with us, and we'd go set up huge Bal Melas. There were basically three women who were, doing this as a commitment. And there we would introduce children to books through songs, through theatre, through stalls, and we would give away books, a lot of books, so that books reach children's homes, and we would have books piled up in the Bal Mela ground, and children would sit there and just look through them, and beautiful. That time NBT had really come up with very good and cheap and beautiful illustrated books, and also the books that came from the leftists from Russia were still there, and from the Soviet Union that time. And so grateful for that, because my kids also read a lot of that. And that was a really fun time in our life. We'd sleep for a couple of hours at night. No, this did not go on the whole year, but once a year we would do a 8 to 10 to 11, whatever, how many days it took. And we will sleep on the parali and wherever we got, and there was basically nothing, no facilities, but the local community helped us a lot. And actually the local community funded, we didn't have many grants or anything. The local community funded us and fed us, and that was a really wonderful time.
Wow. Wow. So you went through Punjab doing this kafla for year after year.
Yeah.
And I remember also you mentioned like the kids went with you, and there's so much that you learned about Punjab. And
at one time there were 400 kids who were traveling with us.
Wow.
And we used to do, before the kafla, we used to do workshops in the school, in the villages. There were artists, there were writers. We would go to writers, introduce kids to writers, and we would go to their homes if they were there in that facility, in that vicinity, and show the people that these are writers, this is where they write, this is their table, and all kinds of stuff. And that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And after that, I was practicing community theatre with Chani. And I realized that the processes that we do to do theatre in a workshop, prepared in a workshop, rather than just picking up a script, because that's what community theatre is. We do not pick up scripts, but a group of people, they workshop together, they share skills, and the workshop facilitators make them go through some exercises which are opening our bodies, minds, and all that, and then we talk about, and the script was evolved in the workshop. And I realized that could be done with in education also, with different subjects and things and all that. And I was also part of a larger movement in India, where people were re-looking at education, reinventing processes of education, like Shikshantar, Arvind Gupte, and Ranjan, all kinds of people, and we were trying out different things, and I thought, why not? So I went traveling to Center for Learning in Bangalore, to the Valley School, to Rishi Valley, schools like that, and went and looked at what they were doing for evaluation, for teaching math, science, language, and all that. And then I came back and I started an alternative classroom in which I think about 10 to 15 kids passed through that classroom in various times. This was in 2000. And for 3 or 4 years, there were facilitators. We had a science club, we had a science resource room, and we would go to the rock garden and have our classes there, trying to map the rock garden, and we used mapping a lot. And then we went to the Leisure Valley, and we had art classes there, and all kinds of people would come just for that, and that was a lot of fun. That was also a fun time for me, and I did not really want it to expand to a school and get into the school business. So I guess that was it. So I think I did most of the things just to just to feed my wonder and just to have a lot of fun. And whoever joined me in that was my friend for that time, and that was good.
Yeah. And I think in this journey a lot of people joined and learned so much, and sort of, I think they were in 2000s, I think, very new, radical reimagining way of looking at education, and so many people in Chandigarh.
And we all went into training teachers and working with schools, in schools, and trying to change somehow bring a fresh thing to the system. But the system is so huge. And not really sort of working in its own way, and it didn't really want that kind of intervention, because it meant that adults would have to work more, and schools would have to spend more, and parents minds would have to be changed. And then I thought that, is there a way? I don't know if whatever, but I think that was my most intense experience of dealing with the system. And I think I'm getting negative right now, but I think children and young people are really, really dealt with very badly, because the adults want to be stupid, because they don't want to, move their butts, or I don't know what,
or lose control.
And that a lot of people would agree with me, because that's what's happening all around us now. And the kids are really, really, it's a torture to be educated in this country, and it's a torture to have a job. Things for young people and children are not good, and that was a very intense learning, which brought me to a space that it's tough. The sense of wonder and the joy of seeing the alternative, the joy of seeing so-called solutions, kept me going till that time. But then there was a point when I said, nah, not happening. It has to be something different. Then I got involved in energy work, where actually you deal with the physical, of course, but the processes which are learned in community theatre actually can work with energies of people, energy of spaces, and that brought me through COVID. It brought me through illness, body, stuff. And I'm glad I found that. I'm grateful. It's I follow a modality called access consciousness, and I'm grateful because the search of actually going down there and dealing with people, dealing with things, being in the ground, the mud, the grass, and making lots of friends on the way, and having a great, great time. I've always had a great time. And then, discovering this energy. Yeah.
So also at one point in Seva, when you were running Seva and working with different schools, with education, there was a point when you looked at hierarchies very differently from other people and looked at collective.
Yeah.
So do you want to sort of share with us what made you think of becoming a collective? What was your journey?
Yeah, it was a natural thing, because I always looked at patriarchy and looked at, fathers and husbands and whatever. And I still feel, and I felt for most of my life, that, if the women perspective somehow, of course, and this is scripture, somehow finds its way and somehow aligns with the masculine perspective, so much energy can be, expended. So I tried working with a school. We were working in a school. We had a project, and there were a lot of us, 15 of us, I think, working for whole school transformation kind of a project. And I said, okay, let's try and do it in the way of a collective. And some of us studied what it would be to be a collective, and of course, there was a hit and a miss and everything. And but I'm glad for that experience, and I think some of the people who've come out of that have a different perspective to things and a lived perspective of how you know hierarchies are not natural. It's not that you have to have a hierarchical setup for things to run, for things to happen, family, whatever, and of course now is a different world. A lot of people are have realized that teamwork and working in corporates and all, they work in different ways, but still hierarchies are there. Patriarchy is very much there. It's probably going to be a slow process, but I'm happy we had that experience. And in fact, in that organization Ruchika is talking about, I invited her to be my mentor. Because you see, the Gen Zs now, she was a Gen Z then, whatever, she was that age. And, and I could have a tunnel vision, which I was like mid 30s or something, but, I needed to know more. And since I was curious, I was working on the collective idea. Ruchika used to mentor me, actually.
Yeah. Actually, you've been my mentor throughout my life. I changed so many of the people who were working there, their perspectives, my perspective. It shapes the way who I am and how I'm, being in this world and raising my child. So a lot of this comes from you, Harleen. And so many more
but a
people.
lot of in me comes from you also.
Now we are both going to be teary-eyed. So going back a little. So I know that you were in Pune in 1988.
Yeah.
Is it? And then,
yes.
like, you were studying there, and
No, I studied my law there, but I was there, in the film institute because my husband was teaching there.
wow,
And what an experience. We used to watch 2 world-class films almost every day. Average at least one every day.
wow.
Amazing films. And I also got to participate in a film crew with this old kind of editing where you splice and you that now you guys don't even know the joy of that kind of filmmaking. Now we're so fast with our phones. And also I'm grateful. I've dabbled in theater, I've dabbled in filmmaking, I've dabbled in editing, I've dabbled in science,
Education.
maths, geography, all kinds of things. And I think my sense of wonder, which is, a wonderful thing to have. Everybody has it, but to give space to it, because that has led me to have so many experiences. And to be a jack of kind of all trades, which is a fun thing to be. Why wouldn't one person want to be just a master of one? And that sort of took me through, I was bouncing through life. And
So then you decided to come back to Chandigarh. From Pune, you decided to come back to Chandigarh. So why did you take the decision?
Jenny had a confirmed government job. We had a house. We had 2 little kids
In Pune.
in Pune. But we decided that, this is boring. The government job, we could almost see our future like going on from DA to DA, and there wasn't enough money, and we wanted to travel the world and travel and do and, be. So we thought we'd just give up the job and come here. And we had no bank balance. Really, the pay was abysmal at that time. Right? It was in 4 figures. Can you imagine? And we would we thought we'd come. And my parents lived in Chandigarh. We thought we could live in Delhi for a bit because Chennai had a couple of films that were commissioned by Doordarshan at that time. So we came, but Jana said no, Chandigarh. So we came to Chandigarh, and that was the happiest decision of my life because I would have hated Delhi, living in Delhi. And we came here,
And so much changed in Chandigarh because of you being here.
yeah, we used to do street theatre. Chennai used to we all, the whole family used to do street theatre in Sector 17 all the time. And I mean, once a week anyways, but we did all kinds of things. We did clowning there, we did pure puppets, huge puppets, and um, once we took a charkha and sat there, show the young people what weaving is about, and we used to do the Friends of Children corner there, all kinds of things. Like that was our second home, Sector 17, and yeah.
So also another city that you moved to was Bangalore.
Yeah.
So what took you to Bangalore? And what all did you explore there?
I was like nearly 60, 59. And I don't know, one day I just sat up and said, I want to change. I want to go somewhere. And I want to go. So yeah, the family said, okay, go for 15 days or something. So I said, no, that's tourism. I want to go live somewhere. And very kind of everyone that I went. I took up a little apartment and I learned contemporary dance, contact improvisation. I attended a couple of shaman workshops, and my teacher who was from Sweden or something. She chose me to be a shaman, and she said, "You can be it, you can do it." But I didn't follow that up. And there was storytelling and theatre, and Bangalore is a nice city to play in, and the people are wonderful. They're very nice. And I had nearly 3 years, 2.5 years, let's say, an amazing time.
Yeah.
So it was finding myself, discovering myself, doing a lot of art, and that was fun. And everybody should do it, huh? You should do it. Get as far away as you can from your kind of environment that you're always living in, and just go be.
So you've dabbled into so many things, and always there is the joy and wonder alive, and always there is reimagining the world, change making. It's always a part of you. So these days, people doing it, younger people doing it, sometimes they feel burnout. Was that ever a case?
Yeah.
And do you want to share something with all the young people?
No, I felt burned
about
out
this?
after, I had worked very deeply with science and maths and language teachers in a school. And the administrator of the school would let me work with the teachers at least for 5 to 10 days a month. Can you imagine? And we went very deep. And then when the time came for evaluation, I said, you can't evaluate the work of these kids with with the normal Ratamar kind of examinations. They were only class 5, 6 kids. So we are not going further up, and let's just evaluate them differently. I will say, tell you how we can do it. And apparently the parents revolted.
Wow.
And the school could not do anything because these parents are threatening to take the kids out. Because they said, "Bacha to khel ke aa jata hai." And the kids, oh my God, they were so brilliant. They were, learning so much, and the teachers were learning so much, and they could have easily given exams because they come up to a higher level, and deal with language, deal with the concept, with ideas. And the administrator told me, "You keep coming, ma'am. We'll keep paying you. You come. Train the other teachers to be trained, but we can't change the evaluation system." And I just walked out. I said, "I can't do this." And that was a burnout period for me, because what kept me going till that time was कि कुछ तो बदलेगा, हम देखेंगे, kind of a thing. But there was a burnout. And that time I danced by myself, and Sufi music helped me so much. Put it on loud and I'll dance. This happened 2-3 times in my life when I felt burnt out and the things were not that good for me. But I would just close the door and dance and dance and dance and dance and put on Sufi music. Sufi music, actually, that's the only kind of music which helped me. And that was fun.
So, Harleen, you've always been a misfit, a weirdo. So, how have you embraced that in your life, and how do you live it up every day?
Oh, it gave me a lot of pain. And it does to a lot of us. We all want to fit in. We all want to be like others. We all measure ourselves against people, though that's what we are taught. And I remember feeling a misfit, a weirdo, since I was very small, and it's painful. But then, I mean, like a little late in life, maybe, but as not that late also, I think my 20s, mid-20s or something, I came across, because I was a reader and films and everything, I came across the idea that you don't have to fit in. You can be different. I remember when I was a little kid, my sister telling my parents that she's different. Don't deal with her in a normal way. Of course, nobody understood. I don't know how she knew it, but that gave me strength, and it's fun to be different, and I learned to embrace it.
And you have fun with your.
I have fun.
difference.
I mean, I'm grateful for the clowning workshops that I've had, for being introduced to the idea of clowning, of interplay, and being reintroduced because my daughter is practicing it very deeply now. And yeah, so the pain of being a misfit goes with you till your mid-30s, I think. Then you can climb out of it. And right now, I'm happy to be like no one else.
Any message or anything you would want to give the young people today? Anything from all your experiences that you've gathered?
Yeah, it sounds very difficult to digest. And it was when I first came across the idea. It was very difficult for me to digest this. But happiness and joy is a choice. Lightness is a choice. So the energy is heavy. You can choose light. You can choose possibility. You can, let's say, I mean, I won't even say that because now I don't believe it, but fake it. And I won't say positivity because that idea and concept and word has been beaten to death. But I will say joy is a choice. Ananda, it's been there in our scriptures, in our religions, and that's a choice. That's the only thing one needs to know.
Thank you, Harleen. Thank you for talking to us and letting us know so much about your life and so in so much detail. And Harleen is turning 70 on 15th of August, and it's her birthday. So everyone wish. Happy birthday.
Harleen is the coolest and sassiest Gen Z BG that I have ever come across. Whenever I meet her, I learn something new from her. She's told me so much about possibilities, told me about joy, curiosity, and I think I've expanded when since the time I've met her, and seeing her mentoring so many people around her is always fun, and I we have a lot of fun moments together. I love being around Harleen.
Everything is what it's not, and nothing is what it appears to be. I love her for her conundrums because they could keep you reeling in outer space for eternity. Free floating. Feels good. Be happy, Harleena.
Thank you for teaching me courage. Thank you for teaching me that I'm important, that I can choose for myself. Thank you for being slightly crazy, very loving, and for always having an open house and an open heart. And I think there's so many bits of that I carry with me, bits that I love about myself. So thank you for helping me love myself a little bit more.
How do I compress 35 years of knowing Harleen into 2 lines? Okay. She's one of the most kindest, gentlest, and thoughtful people that I have known, whose only motive was to want the best for everyone around her, without giving it a thought. Here's to more meandering conversations, Harleen. Happy birthday.
हरलीन मेरी बहुत बहुत करीब दोस्त है, तो आई थिंक इस बार मैं एक चीज़ बता सकती हूँ कि इस बार जब मैं हरलीन के साथ में थी, तो आपको लगता है ना कि आपकी हरलीन की ज़िंदगी में वो है कि उनका जो मन करता है वो करती हैं, वो खूब सारा काम करती हैं, बहुत मज़ेदार चीज़ें करती हैं। पर जब आप उनसे मिलते हैं तो आपको अपनी लाइफ के बारे में समझ में आता है कि आप भी फ्री हैं, आपकी ज़िंदगी भी बहुत अच्छी हो सकती है। तो जैसे मैं उनके साथ में रह रही थी घर में, तो कई बार वो था कि मैं अब अपनी रूम में जा रही हूँ, मैं थोड़ा सोऊंगी, तो फिर जैसे एक दिन मैंने भी कहा कि मैं थोड़ा जा रही हूँ बाहर, मैं फिर आ जाऊँगी वगैरह। तो आप एक्चुअली साथ में रहते हो, पर आप अकेले के साथ में भी बहुत अच्छे से रह सकते हैं, तो वो मुझे बहुत सुंदर लगा।
There are so many things I want to talk about, but I think I am going to choose the letters that you wrote for me on my birthdays. All my birthdays, I would get one handwritten letter from you, and in many ways, it kind of it guided my perspective about what was happening around me, how I was feeling, and also how I looked at my future. And I'm so grateful for that. I'm very lucky to be your son. Thank you for choosing me to be your son. And I love you so much. Happy birthday once again.
Theatre of Joy, you have shown the world that creation is the most beautiful voice. Born on 15th of August, no surprise you grew up to be so independent. You've read thousands of books, performed thousands of roles, recorded thousands of thoughts, but your best role is still being someone who makes everyone look loved, important, someone who makes everyone around them loved. May your 70th be as bold as the monologue, as thoughtful as the podcast, and as free as the Independence Day. Love you.
just the way you heal from things, or you move on from things. I think I've always admired that quality in you. Like one time you have like a problem and the next minute it's gone. Whoosh, you have this magic wand that makes everything sort of fall into place.
आपके साथ बैठ के बहुत अच्छा लगता है. आप हर चीज़ को पॉजिटिव ही सोचते हो, और इस उम्र में कैसे जीना है वो आपने सीख लिया है, और आप दूसरों को भी सिखाते हो कि मस्त रहो, दूसरों की सबकी टेंशन छोड़ दो, अपना ध्यान रखो, अपने में मस्त रहो.
Many happy returns of the day. God bless you. Happy, healthy, wonderful life. We love you.
You have always been a light and a source of joy. We love you so much. Here's to 70 more years of happiness, good health, and lots of fun.
Babuji, I love you more than my life. And, every time you call me Poppet, you really touch my heart. And I love you for that. And I love the child in you, your smile, and always welcoming to your home, and your warm hug. That's special to me.
Mamji, thank you very much for all that you did for our family. You were the real torchbearer. You came in and you made us so much better. And so I wanted to thank you very, very much for that.
I think she's had a great impact on my life. The way I think, and not only on my life, I think my children's lives, the entire family's lives, the progressive rebel in our family. And she made things difficult for me because my parents said कि उदय वर्गी ना बन जाएं, because she was the rebel. She would question everything, and I'm so grateful she paved the way for me, made life easier for me, brought up our parents very well, so that my years with them were really good. And she's been my support system for a very, very long time.
Hi, Minu. You know something? You're a wonderful person. We've spent lots of times together having fun. Always enjoyed your company. You've been a wonderful support system to me, to my family. Thank you so much for everything.
Happy birthday. Love you so much, Mami Ji. Lots of love, lots of light, big hugs. Have a beautiful day, beautiful year. We love you so much.
Hi. So Minu inspired me to become myself and trust whatever it is coming on my way, on my feeling, and trust and go for it. And not taking other people's burden on my head, because that's not mine. I should take care of myself and things will be online.
Mom taught me to love the weird kid that I was, that I am. She still teaches me that, teaches me to question the obvious, question the status quo, to really dig deep and find my own meaning and my own voice.